Well, hello there. This is Glenn Greenidge and Tom Pope, and today the conversation we're looking at Chicago's mayoral race, um, but we're actually looking at it from a even though it's a local mayor race, it really points to the national agenda for what communities are looking for, and so we'll talk a little bit about what has happening now in Chicago, similar to what happened in the New York City mayoral race as well. But this is really pointing to a national agenda. So, Tom, what is your takeaway from this election upcoming in Chicago?
Well, I think we have to be concerned that everyone is focused on public safety means we have to increase the police force. And I think this is a danger. Um, we have Vallis who is leading, and he wants to increase the police force, camera surveillance. This is creating more of a police state. Camera surveillance in schools. Now, why are we, if we're talking about public safety, why aren't we talking about more counselors in school? Why aren't we talking about mentoring? Why aren't we talking about building a sense of community, engaging leadership programs for young people? It seems to me the more we focus on the police, it's like dealing with a symptom, not a problem.
Not getting to the source of it. Um, I agree, because I think that one of the things that is so important, and you kind of straddled it into education. We'll come back to that, but the public safety issue, you're right, it's not about militarizing the police force. It's about providing additional services that support the person who is having a mental breakdown, who is not taking their meds, um, for families who are calling for help. And what happens is the police come in with full force and arrest or handcuff or agitate the person who's already in an agitated state, rather than calming down, de-escalating the situation. So there clearly some things around public safety that are plaguing. Now, one of the things, as a incumbent, the um, the current mayor hasn't had a good track record when it comes to um, crime, and so that people, when people don't feel safe, they want changes, and so that's one of the changes that may take place in this particular election. And oh, by the way, this again, as I pointed out earlier, is also a national agenda when we talk about the presidential elections that are going to be coming forward. Now, we talked about public safety.
By the way, there is an element here
Yeah,
dealing with the issue of public safety besides the police.
right.
Think of this as a medical situation. A patient enters a hospital bleeding. Is the major concern just putting Band-Aids to stop the bleeding? Doesn't the doctor want to know why is he bleeding? The same can be applied here.
Sure. Absolutely. You want to get to the source of it. And the source is multifaceted. And that's part of the issue. Because it's creating jobs for the people who don't have them. Now, how do you do that? Training, creation of green jobs, all of those things are critical to support, because if the person can't work or doesn't have a job or income, they're going to look to do alternatives.
And as you say that, I'm
Mhm.
thinking about one of the points from Vallis, who is running for mayor, he's leading. Um, he wants more privatization of schools and education. Now, if we start to really become more selective, we're shutting out a large group of students who will not be able to make it, which creates further problems leading to public safety.
Further separation, yes.
Right.
So you're absolutely right, and the thing that keeps kind of circularly coming back, all these things are related: education, jobs, housing, um, the criminal justice system. All of these things come into play, and there's not a one fix that fits it all. Right now, we've got Chewy, who is the one of the leading progressives candidates and Brandon is the other progressive. So the three of them um, uh, are actually doing better than the incumbent mayor, Lightfoot. So it really is interesting. Now, you know, what's probably going to happen is there's going to be a runoff at some point in time, and whoever's gotten the two people have gotten the most votes will be it'll be a runoff to see who's going to be able to take the that seat or
You talk about a sign for the rest of the country. What you just described, is this showing us a problem with progressivism around the country where maybe we're too divided? Should we be more concentrated? What if those three progressive candidates were not there and only one was there? Would that be a more of a threat to Vallis?
I would think so. I would think so because uh, Vallis is really just coming from the, you know, pro police, pro, give them more, whatever, guns, cars, tanks, you know, and sort of a hardcore smackdown. But as we continue to look at this problem, and we've looked at it over a period of time, there's not one focal point for the fix. There's, you got to come at it at different levels, and I would think that if one there was just one progressive as opposed to multiple, um, you would have a stronger stand to implement some of the progressive um, uh, theory that can be applied to help resolve some of these issues that are, quite frankly, not local. It's really a national conversation that just occurs locally in wherever you happen to live, because all the cities are dealing with this on one level or the other, and um, this is a microcosm of the bigger conversation nationally.
Well, how do we guide the listening population to come to some idea of what to do?
Well, um, I think people have to look to see who or what candidate fits more of their particular hot items. If I were look for me, I think that certainly public safety is a huge issue, but I think economic development is one of the key um, stabilizers in a community. And so, if you can provide jobs and training and access to be able to survive on your own without, support.
or mental health and counseling.
Exactly. When you can have all those things available because you're working, because you're on the job, you now got access to healthcare. You've got access to all of these additional programs that are going to help to reduce crime, to reduce the number of police that are needed in your particular community. And
And
so,
we can also add minimum wage. Maybe a person isn't seeking help when they should for counseling because they'll lose their job if they take the time off.
yeah,
And they're not making money as much as years ago because it's being siphoned off by the corporation that they work for. So they don't take the time off to have a problem solved, and they become more a victim of then being part of the scenario where maybe they get involved with crime or a gang.
yeah. They look for alternatives, and those alternatives are usually not necessarily legal. And unfortunately, again, it rolls into that whole overall conversation. If people aren't happy, aren't satisfied, they're gonna reach out and do things that are harmful to themselves and the people around them. So
Well, if you like what you've been listening to, get in touch with us at on Facebook, Community and Social Change.
thank you.